Hi, hello, good evening. Welcome back to the lecture series on human capital management. Today, in this series, this class, so we are going to understand the group incentive schemes. As we studied in the previous session, the incentive schemes. So, specifically, the group incentive schemes which will be implemented in the organization. So these are the group incentive schemes which are being implemented by the organizations. Number one, cost efficiency bonus plan, Priestman's production bonus plan, Rucker plan, budgeted expense plan, Scanlon plan, Tony plan, co-partnership plan. So these are the 7 different kinds of group incentive schemes which are being implemented by most of the business firms. So now let's understand these one by one. First, cost efficiency bonus plan. How do the organizations are going to implement this bonus plan? The steps involved in it. Number one, determine actual standard cost for the various elements, for the various activities. Actual incurred by the group. Compare incurred cost and standard cost. Finally, predetermined percentage of savings is distributed in the bonus to the employees. Okay, so this is cost efficiency bonus plan. So being a group, how the group is contributing to have the control over the cost. Okay, standard cost for one work is determined. Actual cost incurred by the group. Compare the cost that incurred by the group with that of the standard, and finally predetermined percentage of savings is distributed with the bonus to the employees in the form of bonus. Suppose standard cost is 3 lakhs, so it is there before the group. Actual production cost incurred, actual production expenses incurred by the group is 2,70,000. So number of members is 10. Group is eligible for 60% of cost saved as a bonus. What was the cost saved here? 30,000 cost has been saved. Okay, so 30,000 of cost that has been saved, that will be distributed among the 10 members. Okay, so this is a type of group incentive scheme. So that is being implemented by most of the business firms. Okay. Second, Priestman's production bonus plan. How do we calculate the bonus under this scheme? So the 4 steps involved in it. Number one, determines the standard performance in terms of units or points. Actual performance in units is measured. Compare the standard performance and actual performance. Fourth step, actual performance exceeds the standard performance. Bonus is based on excess production achieved and predetermined percentage of bonus. Okay, actual performance below the standard performance, no bonus is given. Okay, so it is very simple to calculate the bonus for the group in the Priestman's production bonus plan. It's quite simple. In terms of points, standard performance is set like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on 10 points. Okay, so that is the standard performance. Actual performance is also measured. Actual performance is calculated how the actual performance has been rendered by a group. Compare the standard performance set with that of the actual performance rendered by the group. If the group performance exceeds the standard performance, certain percentage of bonus is given, okay, to the group which has been performed exceeds the group performance exceeds the standard performance. But of course, what happens if the standard performance is set, actual performance by the group is below standard performance, then there is no bonus. Okay, so this is the type of bonus scheme in which it is encouraging the group activity, group performance in order to get more and more bonus. Number 3, recur plan. Pay portion of value added remains near constant share unless drastic change in the policy or organization mismanagement. Okay, this is one important scheme. How do we calculate the incentive here? Number 1, first step, calculate value added for the given data in defined time period. Okay, within the time frame. So we are going to calculate, okay, what was the value that has been added by the performance of the group. Number 1, calculate the ratio of labor cost to value added. Okay, in the process of value addition, what was the expenses of labor? Okay. Number 3, calculate the value added of subsequent years and ratio of labor cost to value added. Okay, so now if the reduction in ratio, then certain amount of value added given as bonus. Okay, so this is also very simple. So how does we calculate the incentives? It is quite simple. What was the value addition to the organization that has been rendered by the group and with that of the cost incurred? Okay, if the percentage of ratio, the percentage of incentive depends upon the percentage of value addition in the production process, okay, the quality and the process steps have been reduced, okay, all those things. So this is very quite simple in calculating the value addition, and in the process of value addition, what was the expenses that the group has incurred. So if the group succeeded in reducing the cost and giving the value addition, more percentage is being calculated and given in the form of bonus. Now, what are the advantages and disadvantages of the value addition? It increases the employee engagement and organizational performance, because value addition, so it creates the image of the company. So when the image of the company is increased, upgraded, obviously the employee is also responsible in contributing something for the value addition, for the creation of goodwill for the company. Cost saving on overhead also will be considered as much as possible. Okay, the group, being a group, it concentrates in reducing the savings, cost savings. Number 3, it increases the motivation for the employees. Easy to implement and no cost is involved in calculating the incentive. So there are certain disadvantages also we do find under this scheme. Leader dependent plan. Okay, so it is a leader who plays very important role in it. More need of training and development of the employees. Unless we give proper training and development program for the employees, so this incentive will not work. Next, budgeted expense plan. How do we calculate the incentives on the basis of the budgeted expense plan? Number 1, determine the total budgeted expense, actual total expense incurred by the group. Okay, the standard budget. Okay, and the budgeted expense is 10,000 rupees or 10 lakhs in the production department. So total expenditure incurred by the group to perform the particular job. In the process, the group incurred 8 lakhs. Okay, extra 2 lakhs have been saved. Okay, that is, we are going to compare the total budgeted expenses with that of the actual total expenses incurred by the group. Finally, determined the percentage of savings is distributed among the employees in the group. For example, total budgeted expense is 3 lakhs and total actual expenses incurred by the group of 10 people is 2,70,000. Okay, group is eligible 60% of the savings as bonus. So this is a kind of motivation for the employees to get more and more incentives. Scan learn plan. Okay, here what happens? Constant proportion of value, added value of output is paid to the workers who are responsible for the addition of the value. Okay, the percentage of bonus, so is depending on the percentage of value addition, percentage of output that has been rendered. Okay, so when the group, as a group, it is responsible for creating certain output, value addition. Okay, ratio of labor cost to sales value of production. Okay, sales value of production and labor cost is also to be considered here under the Scan learn plan. What are the advantages? No cost to use this process. It will be simple and easy to calculate the incentives that would be given to the employees. Second, it increases employee engagement and organizational performance. And it's also leader dependent plan. More need of training and development for the employees. Otherwise, it is very difficult. Town A plan. Cost reduction by foremen and workers. How much cost, being a group, it could able to reduce. Okay, so on the basis of that, the percentage of incentives must be given to the group members. For example, standard labor cost per unit for a particular period of time is determined, is set. If actual labor cost per unit is less than the standard labor cost, 50% of the saving in labor cost is distributed among the workers in the group and foremen in percentage of their wages. Okay, so this is another important type of incentive scheme. Now let's understand enterprise incentive plans. So far we have discussed the group incentive plans. Now let's understand enterprise incentive plans. Number 1, Earnings at risk plan. Profit sharing. Any procedure by which an employee pays or makes available to all regular employees in addition to their basic pay, current or deferred sums based upon the profit of the enterprise. Some organizations, okay, so they are going to pay on regular employees. They are going to pay certain incentives for the regular employees in the form of profit sharing. How do we do this? How do we implement this? Number one, agreement over the division of profit between the company and the employees. Okay, so at the time of entering into the organization, the employees will be knowing, so I am not working for the salary. Okay, then the whatever the profit that has been accrued in a given period of time by the company, that will be distributed some percentage of profit among the employees, that is decided earlier. Second, possibility of no payout due to financial conditions of the company. Suppose if there is a financial crisis in the company, what about the incentives for the employees? No incentives at all. So this is one of the demerit that is there in the earnings of risk plans. Number two, earnings at risk incentive plan. Stock options. Granting employees the right to purchase a specific number of shares of the company's stock at a guaranteed price during a designated time period. Okay, the value of an option is subject to stock market condition. At that time, that option is exercised. Okay, as per the demand and supply of these stocks, at that price, even the company is allowing the employees to purchase the stocks from the company. Okay, this is another incentive scheme. It is another type of encouragement to put more and more effort by the employees. Number three, earnings at risk incentive plans. Employee stock ownership plan. Stock plans in which an organization contributes shares of its stock to an established trust for the purpose of stock purchases by its employees. The employer establishes an ESOP trust that qualities as a tax exempt employee trust under section 401A of the Internal Revenue Code. Okay, so whenever they are purchasing the shares from the company, employees are purchasing the stock from the company, what happens? Tax exemption will be there for them. Stock bonus plans are funded by the direct employer contribution of its stock or cash to purchase its stock. Leveraged plans are funded by employers borrowing to purchase its stock for the employee stock ownership plan. Yes, thank you very much for being with us. Have a good day.